Hey YouTube, this is Bill. I purchased a Sub1, not for the purpose that you see, but I purchased it for basically for the portability with the Pro32. And if you have seen my previous videos, the Pro32 had bought originally with the Sub2 as a package, as a system. And the Sub2 kind of defeats the portability factor that I need for such a lightweight system. For the Pro32, this base is so light and the columns are so light, but then you have this 52-pound subwoofer and it's pretty hard to pack in the car, and I just figured I would use it much less because of the weight. But I will use it when the case arises where I really need some strong bass outside or a certain gig with a really needed low end. So, but for the majority of the time, I want something portable. So I was looking at the Sub1 and I purchased it, and I've been very, very pleased with playing it and testing it for the last couple of days. And it's just super portable, super light. It's 35.5 pounds compared to the 52 pounds. And surprisingly enough, I've been running it off of this expert power source, running the whole system off that. And I just figured, okay, I'm not sure if this will work, put another subwoofer into the mix, because the subwoofer adds another 480 watts. And sure enough, it works, no problem. So that expert power 400, it just keeps amazing me, basically. So the Sub2 with the Pro32 array is 1,480 watts. Then you add the 480 watts of the Sub1. So that's a total of 1,960 watts that power inverter is running. It is supposedly the best type of power. It's called a pure sine wave inverter. So for the money, it's really doing its job. I wouldn't doubt if I could also run a mixer. It has another power outlet in the back there. It has 3 AC inputs. So that's very flexible. I didn't purposely set out to get a system like this. My original system was the Pro32 Sub2 package. And once I got the Sub1, this was just kind of an experiment. So I'm not recommending anybody to go out and purchase this particular rig. But if you do have a Sub1 and you need it for portability, and you want more bass in maybe a home studio, so that could work, because adding the Sub2 adds some really nice low end at 37 hertz to the Sub1. So in a situation where you want to keep something static in a studio or in a home, that I could see adding a Sub2 to the Sub1. If you have the Sub2 already, I really don't see any reason to purchase a Sub1. Once you dial it up, once you slowly bring up the gain on the Sub2, it just overpowers the Sub1, and the Sub1 kind of disappears at that point. The Sub2 is just that good. I am going to give you a demo, and I'll let the listeners decide. Here's a crazy rig. I have the S1Pro mounted on the Sub1 or the Sub2 with a short pole. It's about the smallest pole you can get. I have it lined out from the Pro32 bass unit TRS into channel 1 on the S1Pro. Again, this isn't a very effective way to go because the Pro32 has 180-degree dispersion. It's just going to drown out the little Bose S1Pro. But I thought it would be interesting to look at the setup. If someone wanted just the S1Pro and the Sub1, it would make a really tiny little package. Here it gives you an idea of just how short that pole is. And some people might be saying, oh, I can just put the S1Pro right onto the subwoofer. I wouldn't recommend that because of the vibration. So this just gets it off the sub a little bit, but keeps it really short and tiny. Here we go, a little more traditional setup. S1Pro on a pole mounted into the Sub1. Again, not the best setup because of that, the proximity how close they are. Of course, if you move the Pro32 15 feet away, then that would be an option. Just show you all the different variations you can do with this setup. It's kind of like Legos at this point. And of course, the most traditional way to do this would be the S1Pro over a real speaker stand. And that way you can spread the S1Pro apart from the Pro32, probably a minimum of 15 feet distance between them. You have your subs in the middle, and that way you don't have any cancellation going on. And I have tried this. Believe it or not, that little speaker does add a little fullness to the sound. Believe it or not, the Pro32 can be improved even with that little tiny speaker. It just adds that little edge. Again, I don't know if I would do this unless you really need the extra coverage. Just one more thing to carry. Okay, I'm gonna play some demonstration tracks. I'm sitting behind the rig, the two subwoofers, so I can control them individually. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up the Sub1 first to a good sounding level, and then I'm gonna bring in slowly the Sub2, and you're gonna see how that low end, that 37 hertz, just changes everything. Okay, these tracks are from YouTube, so they're copyright. I don't have to worry about any copyright infringement. So these are not tracks that I came up with myself. New tracks. Here we go. Okay, I hope you can hear that. Started with the Sub1, I'm gonna turn it off at this point. Then I went to the Sub2 and brought it up. Sounded real nice when I brought the Sub2 into play. I'm gonna reset this, try a different track. Sounded great. Same thing. Sub1 I have here, less than 11 o'clock, 10:30 or so. And then I brought up the Sub2, basically the same level to 11, but then like I said previously, the Sub1 disappears, and then you just have this incredible low end of the Sub2. Let's try a different track, reset again. dB. If you like your bass, that was a pretty good track actually from YouTube. It sounds great. Again, turn this off, reset, see what else I got. another heavy bass track. I think it sounds wonderful. The total system is a 3-cable system. You have 2 sub-match cables connecting your Sub2 to Sub1. From your array, you have 1 sub-match cable, and then you have 1 power to AC. Here I'm using portable power. So it's a 3-cable system. Pretty neat compared to a spaghetti of wires that I've shown people in the past when you're trying to go through Bluetooth, external Bluetooth. So, hope you enjoyed. Again, this isn't a system I purposely built. I wouldn't recommend people go out if you have a Sub2. I wouldn't go out and buy a Sub1, but it was fun. I've been working with this all day. It sounds great. And again, the battery has gone down 2 bars out of 5 in 2 hours. So you figure 1 bar per hour. You figure 5 hours on this battery charger. Had pretty good volume. Okay, hope you enjoyed. See you next time.